Broadcasting statewide on the Golf Club Network, it's the Golf Club Radio Show with Danielle Tucker.
Good morning. It's a beautiful Saturday in Hawaii. It's a bit on the breezy side, and so anybody going out today, take your wind game, much like if you've been watching the Rico Women's Open in England at Royal Birkdale. Boy, is that an awesome event. It's just beautiful near Manchester. We'll have some of the highlights of that in just a moment. Our guest this morning from the East Coast, John Graham Golf Schools, John Graham. From the UK, Peter Hudson, Golf Instruction and Coaching, will be checking in. From Michigan and, of course, around the world, author, broadcaster, and our travel guru, Michael Patrick Shields. And from Ireland, Ted Vicky, fitness guru, my fitness caddy. Yes, he will be here to describe the Open. He's still at the 17th tee, and he's going to tell us exactly what it was like at St. Andrews. And we're going to be talking with Ted Vicky, who I believe has joined us all the way from... Are you in Ireland, Ted?
Top of the morning. I'm in Ireland, yes.
Yes, you're in Galway?
I am in Galway.
I was just noticing that there were a couple of... are you horse racing? Are you a betting man?
I was at the horse races yesterday, and for those that don't know, this week is the Galway races, and it's the biggest event in Galway for the entire year, and Thursday was ladies' night. So all the ladies put on their Sunday best, they wear their hats, and they all go to the race course.
Oh, it's kind of like the Kentucky Derby, only it's Galway's version.
It's Galway's version, and it goes for a week. So it ends tomorrow.
Well, I like that. I think the Derby's way too short. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's 2 hours of television and then 60 seconds of racing. You know, it should be more.
Well, I came out even, so for seven hours of the track, I'm happy.
I'm just glad that you're with us. You know, we've been talking about Ted Vicky joining us from the 17th. So I've been joking this morning. Have you been listening that you're still standing on the 17th at the Open?
I have, and let the record state that I did try to call from the 17th. There was a little porta potty there, and I went in there and I turned my phone on because you can't have phones on a golf course, and could not get signal. So I apologize to you and the listeners. I'm here. I'm ready for the abuse. Let it begin.
But Danielle, this is very suspicious because if you've been to the old course, you know that the 17th hole is adjacent to the Jigger Inn right there, that little pub. And I'm not saying, I'm just saying.
Yeah, so did you have a chance? I mean, seriously, Ted Vicky actually spent, 5 days working?
Yeah.
You were working. Even though
working for ESPN, yes.
And you were there working for ESPN, so you were standing on the 17th on the tee. What was your job?
I was what they call a spotter. Now, when you hear spotter, the first thing you think of is the person that goes and finds the balls when they hit it into the tall grass.
Yeah.
However, on ESPN, a spotter is a person that walks with every group, and that person is in charge of keeping score. So if you can imagine a production truck at ESPN, they probably have 20 television screens, and they're looking at the different things. So the producer doesn't know what the guy just hit on the last hole or what the score is. So the producer will say, what's Tiger on? And whoever's following Tiger will say, Tiger, third shot, 14th hole for birdie.
Oh.
And then 5 seconds later, you hear on TV, we're going to go to the 14th hole. This is Tiger's third shot for birdie.
Oh,
so,
that's what you did.
That's what I did. And mine was a little different this year. Last year when I was at the Open, I followed the players. This year, ESPN and ABC and Dish Network did a special interactive. So I was stationed on the 17th tee, and I switched with my fellow spotter Paul Hughes from the UK, and he and I were on 17, and then I got pulled over to 18. So I was the person on 18 saying who was going first and what club they were using.
Wow. Yeah, you weren't telling the player. You were telling the guys in the truck.
No, I was telling the guys in the truck. And there, you want to get the information correct before you give it to the producer, because obviously if you say Phil Mickelson's up and Tiger Woods walks up and you look like an idiot.
No, you don't. The guy on television does, and then definitely talk to you about what you've just done to them. Later on. That spotter got it.
You hear it. But it was an absolute blast, and it was. People say, well, how did you get this job? And Danielle, I think I've told you before. I got the job. I answered a want ad on the internet.
As easy as that?
Easy
A want ad. Where do you find want ads like that on the internet?
I've been living in Ireland for 3 years. Last year, I knew I wanted to go to the Open. So in January, I went to the Open website to see how much it was going to cost me. In the bottom right-hand corner, it said, do you want to work at the Open? Click here. And I did. And they said, send us your resume. And I did. And they got it and said, I think you should work for ESPN. Now it's kind of like a little fraternity. The same guys that were there last year were there this year. And I'll probably work for as long as I'm here and as long as they'll have me. And I might even try to get up to the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah, you've got to get up to the Ryder Cup. What do you mean try? It's something you have to do. I want to ask both you and Michael. Michael, by the way, is got to be green with envy right now. See, Michael would love to be living in Ireland. Wouldn't you, Michael?
I sure would. I've said that many times, and I don't know. I've only stayed there for a month at a time, but I don't know how I would deal with the weather past a month. But I have a couple of ideas how I'd take care of that.
You get used to it.
Peat fires and pints and just the warm convivial camaraderie of people in Ireland. It's if you've not been, you must go.
Yes. Brian Fujiwara of Waipahu. Brian Fujiwara, you are our qualifier, the first qualifier this morning for our Aloha Team Classic flyaway to Maui. And if you're listening anywhere, you can just call that number, because if you can get to Honolulu, you'll be flown and then taken care of on Kauai for all that time. It's absolutely fabulous. I'm sorry, you'll be going to Maui. Did I say Kauai? Thank you. I know, Kauai, you're not going to Kauai. The event is on Maui. You don't have to sign up for the event, but if you do, of course, you'll be assisting youth charities, and you'll have a blast because the LPGA is going to have some of the players are coming over to do clinics and have fun. Now, you've got a great idea, and I've got to tell Michael, Ted Vicky used to work at the White House in the fitness center. What he did was he assisted with the president's workout routine. So if you ever want, Fitwell LLC. He's the president of Fitwell. You can find him at myfitnesscaddy.com, and he's got some really good ideas to keep in shape. He plays water polo. He's going, you're getting your degree in what in Ireland?
Got my international degree in business. It was always on my bucket list to do, so after I sold the company, I decided to live my bucket list and move to Ireland. And then as luck would have it, I got recruited to stay and do a PhD in social networking and exercise adherence.
Social networking and exercise adherence. Man, how do you get a PhD in that? I mean, what are you doing? What is your thesis?
The thesis is going to be, can we use the technology and the tools that are out there to get people to go out and exercise more? So can we use Facebook? Can we use Twitter to motivate people to go out and do that?
Oh, you've got to get in. You've got to follow Coco Girl.
I don't know Coco Girl.
You've got to follow Coco Girl. #TTUC. She started it at the beginning of the year to encourage people on Twitter to, say, hey, I'm going to go out and get my TTUC. Go get some exercise. Today I'm doing this and that. It was to bond a group of people together to go do something even though they weren't close to one another physically.
That's the essence of what it will be. Exactly. How can we use that? Now, Danielle, there's something that you might be interested in. There is a scale that's available. Every time you step on the scale, it beats your weight to all your followers.
No!
How frightening.
How motivating.
Yes, you would,
What about, do they have one of those for blood alcohol content, too?
Now, that would be good. That would be good, especially in Ireland.
This is great. Ted came up with this idea, and I like this, Ted. Yes, right. I like this idea of, after spending a week in St. Andrews and meeting all the great, and just watching on television made me want to go. You said a few of you have decided to do a golf holiday in late spring.
We are. I've got the email here, and Michael was there, and the atmosphere at the Open is nothing that I've ever experienced in the States. I mean, it is a town event. These golfers are staying next door to you. Michael probably knows where the Dunvegan is. It's on the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Their tagline is, we're 112 yards from the 18th hole. And we sat there for 3 days, and Paul Azier walked by, Phil Mickelson, Colin Montgomery, Todd Hamilton. It was just amazing. I don't know any other tournament where you are so close to the players. But we did decide that we're going to go over and play some of the St. Andrews courses. So here's a trivia question for you, Danielle. Okay. How much do you think it costs to play the old course?
Oh, Michael, help me on this one. You know.
I think it's about $180.
It is 91 pounds, and the pound is about $1.50 now. So, yeah, it's about $140, $150. And it's a public course. Think of Pebble Beach and playing there, but this is something that anyone can do. It's amazing.
Yes. And in Pebble Beach is $350 or something like that. So it's actually St. Andrews is a bargain. But what I like is that you're thinking about, playing a number of the courses around St. Andrews, and there are lots of beautiful ones. And then you're suggesting using the St. Andrews hostel or renting a home. $25 a night. The hostel, is that good?
I paid the first 2 nights I was in St. Andrews because as I told the people at the hostel, I'm a poor PhD student. I don't tell them that I do other things on the side,
right?
Because I want the best deal. 15 pounds is what I paid, which is about $25, and then they jacked the rate up to 70 pounds, which is about $100 for the last 4 nights I was there. So for 15 pounds. There were bunk beds, and there were 6 people in the room, and as my sister will attest, I have OCD, and I'm a clean freak, and I had no idea what I was getting myself into, but there were other golfers that were there, and there was a guy from New Zealand, there was a lady from Connecticut. It was great. I would do it again.
It sounds like fun.
Thinking about, and that's what we're going to do as a group. We'll probably go in and say, hey, we've got 8 people that want to come. We want to share the room, and it'll probably cost us 15 pounds a night. And on a golf trip, you never are in the room anyway, so you might as well pay for playing nicer courses or pay for a good dinner. And then, we're going to try to do this for under $1,000.
All right. Well, I like it. So if somebody wants to join, can they get in touch with you?
Sure can. Rick's coming, I heard.
Rick is coming? Yeah.
Well, I'm not supposed to say that. Sorry.
Oh, so then maybe I'm going too.
Hey, I didn't hear Danielle's going. I heard Rick's going.
Mike's coming too.
Yeah, Michael's going too.
John Graham's coming.
John Graham's going to be there. Of course he will be. He's going to the UK. We'll have Peter Hudson join us as well. We'll have a coach.
He's going to be there. So
yeah,
it's going to be the golf show. Golf club show.
Yeah, it's St. Andrews. At St. Andrews. I'm liking this. I'm liking this a whole lot.